Hey guys, first video with the new camera. I am so much happier with the quality coming out of this than I was from just my phone. So for today's video, I'm doing a video on why I am a furry. I try to explain this in the most condensed way possible. Probably won't succeed, but the reason why anyone furries is, first off, the love for all things that are anthropomorphic. The word for animals with people characteristics. For me, that really started young, seeing it in movies and certain kids' TV shows, and me really particularly liking that type of style. I think it wasn't until I was like 15 or 16 when I actually started finding out what furry was, and then that really just became a giant snowball effect. And the art, finding specific artists, comic strips, and that really what hooked me into the fandom was finding the art of it. When I first looking at furry stuff, I had no idea about suits. And the more involved I got with it, I started seeing more suits, and I was just like, that's kind of cool, I guess. I was more obsessed with the art and that aspect of it. It wasn't until when I was about 18 that I started reaching out to some local furry Facebook groups to meet more furries or see anyone's out in my area. And I met one of my best friends, Sebastian Shepherd, and about this time I was 20 years old. We meet in a parking lot of a mall, and we both hit it off. This dude is like literally my big brother. And we're chilling, talking about different things, and he opens his trunk and there's a fursuit in it. And I remember just thinking like, oh my gosh, like it made me so uncomfortable. I never saw it, and it was just like, oh my gosh, it exists, there it is. So it's something I dove into very slowly. And he started introducing me to his other furry friends, and that really, again, became like a snowball effect, just becoming more and more absorbed in the fandom. So we continued to hang out, talk about furry things. He gave me some connections to a first fursuit maker, because at that time I didn't really have a persona exactly designed, but he had a couple of friends that made fursuits, so it was fun to start talking to them and try to decide what I wanted to do. And then it slowly started becoming like an obsession. I started following all these really cool fursuiters, all these cool artists. I started made my first FA account. I didn't know what I wanted to do in the fandom, I just knew I wanted to be part of it. It just seemed like such a cool thing to do. And it wasn't until Anthrocon 2014 was my very first convention, and that's like a fire hydrant to the face when it comes to conventions. It's so big, so many people, and that's when I was like truly addicted. And, if you've been to Anthrocon, you know how it is. Freaking hot, but walking around the con space and going to the dealer's den and going to like these fun parties, the dances, just the culture, everyone's having a fun time. It was just like, it felt like a can of gasoline, just someone just flicked a match on it. It was just absolutely incredible, and I was like, I have to get a suit, I have to do this, and it was just one of the most memorable moments of my life going to that convention. And it was so fun being with all these people that share the same interests and having fun, silly conversations, seeing all these adorable fursuiters around. It was just amazing. And throughout the years, going to more conventions, meeting more people, international people all from all around the United States, Canada, like Europe, Australia, it was just like a cultural experience. Talking to people from different countries I would have never talked to before in my life, in my tiny little town in upstate New York. So to me, when it comes down to it, the core of what I loved about being a furry is just the interaction of people, the shared interest, and having fun around the con space, being a big fluffy animal. That has to be the biggest thing I'm thankful for in the fandom, is the amount of people I've met and friendships I've made through being a furry. Over half of my closest friends, way over half, all furries, and I would have never met them if I wasn't involved in this fandom. My whole move from New York to Washington wouldn't have been possible if it wasn't for the furry friends I had out. I had friends that helped me move, I had friends that helped me find a place to stay, and it was just, I don't know, that bond and that connection I have with these people really helped me also just move forward in my life. I found a way higher paying job than in New York out here in Washington, and all of these things wouldn't have been really possible if I didn't meet these people through the furry fandom. And then of course, in the furry fandom, there's always negativity, there's always drama going on. That's in any kind of fandom, any kind of organization where there's people with different opinions. Everybody wants the furry fandom to be exactly how they want it to be, and their opinion is only the right one, and that's never going to change. Yes, there are some bad eggs in the fandom, but I mean, like I said, that's in any fandom, in any organization, there's always going to be not great people. As a whole, the people in this fandom are amazing. When we need to, and for important issues, you're always seeing people banding together, bringing money, raising awareness to certain organizations, certain people in need. It's really humbling. One thing that always blows my mind with my character in particular, when I made Jem years ago, I had this fun visit of him being this rock star kind of a character, and it was just fun to build on that, and it really took off more than I thought I was going to. And the following that happened with my character on social media was just incredibly humbling. After the first year or so that I had him, I go to convention, I had people running up to me and saying like, oh my gosh, Jem, I love your videos, I love your content. Like you maybe want to learn how to play guitar, you maybe wanted to do this, you motivated to do this. It's just, every time that happens, it's it's always just an extremely humbling experience. It's like, this is why I do this. For me to have some kind of positive influence in someone's life, and this is the medium that I chose, it makes it all worth it. It makes the money, the time, the energy you put into this, making these videos, 60 photos just to get that one good one to post on the internet. It just makes it all worth it. Especially when someone has specific things in mind and comes, oh, I love this photo where you did this, and it's like, thank you. I remember taking an hour to do that photo. Because almost 90% of the photos I take are myself with my phone or something on a stand and hoping that it works. And a lot of swear words, sweat, and time went into a lot of this content I made. So when I get that positive, enforcement back, it's just like so fulfilling to me, and that's what I absolutely love. That's why going to conventions are so like important to me. It's almost like chasing a high of going to get in and interact with these people. Because I remember me not having a suit and looking up to these other fursuiters when they're posting, and I was like, oh gosh, I hope I get to do that someday. Looking at these photos and being like, oh, that's so cute, that's so funny. It's like, oh, this particular photo made my day. I can't wait to be able to do that for somebody. And when that finally happens, it's just like, I did it. Like, because all I ever wanted to do was be an entertainer, and this is a very specific medium to use, but it's what I have, and the platform that I have, I try to be as entertaining and fun and funny as possible. In so many situations, I always see people saying like, oh, I'm more shy in public. When I'm out being a fursuit, I get to be myself. And it's very true, like the saying that says, put a mask on a person, you see who they truly are. Having that little escape from reality to be this cute fluffy animal and run around and be silly and or not talk or bark or live in this character that you made for a while is just, it's an amazing experience. For you not to have to be you for a while, it's just, sometimes you need that, and especially with all the stress that's going on today. Walking around as a big dog, cat, dragon, wherever you want to be, and just escape from reality for a bit. People always want to hate on things they don't understand, and a lot of people don't understand furry, and that's fine. We're not asking you to understand it, it's just, let us do it. We are not hurting anything, let us have our fun. That also brings me back to another example of first thing in Pittsburgh. It's incredible how supportive that city is to the furry community. Granted, the furries do bring in a lot of money into that city during Anthrocon, but like, never forget the first fursuit parade I did, and it's just a line with people, and they're all like, waving furry flags, the kids are all going up giving high fives, everyone wants to take photos, and it was so cool to see that support from the regular non-furry community out there and loving this. It was just like, you felt like a rock star walking in front of these people, and it's just like so cool that they love it so much. Of course, we all know that's not always the case, and there are people that hate on it and just have toxic things to say, and that's just always going to be the internet. Everyone has an opinion, and that's fine. I could care less. I've been on social media for years. I have thick skin to it. It doesn't bother me. What is important to me is when I get these messages from kids saying, hey, like, I love your suit, I love your content, it made me want to make this character. And when I see these kids that are like 14, 15 years old, and they're making their own fursuits, and they're incredible. I'm not artistic, I can barely draw. So when I see someone way younger than me making their own costume, I'm like, that is incredible. That is such a cool thing to see. That also brings another topic that is very sore in the fandom, and I've had this conversation many times with people, and I always ask, do you need a fursuit to be in the fandom? And the answer is absolutely not. It's all about finding a specific niche. I see people gaining followers just doing little sharks doodle on the internet, or this other person is taking photos of foxes and putting cute little Google eyes on them, and getting thousands of likes and retweets. It's just, you don't need a fursuit to be furry fandom. I know a couple of my friends that absolutely hate fursuiting, and they love going to conventions. They love hanging out with their friends, they love taking photos of cute animals, or just going to the dealer's den, or just like playing games. It just all boils down to the common interest that they have. Is fursuiting a huge part of the fandom? Absolutely. It's a super fun thing to do, and if you have the resources to do it, I recommend doing it. If you can't do it right off the bat, save up, work on making your own suit, or support new fursuit artists that aren't charging $5,000-$6,000 for a suit. Borrow suits, there's many options to do. If you are obsessed with specifically that aspect of the furry fandom of fursuiting, then by all means pursue that and get something that makes you happy. But it's not a necessity, and I can't stress that enough. We'll tell you that you can't do it, or you're doing it wrong, or need to be an artist, a fursuit, or this or that to enjoy it. No. You always continue to need good positive influences to lean on. So I really hope you like this video, me explaining what furry means to me and why I became a furry, and it brings me so much enjoyment. I will always continue to keep doing this as a hobby. I'd love to hear how you guys became a furry, or some of your first convention experiences. Definitely comment those below. I hope you enjoyed this better quality video on the new camera. I'm still working on more things for my recording room. Still have a couple things I have to order yet. It's not quite ready. Hopefully that'll be coming very soon. Thank you guys so much for checking out this video. I'll try to continue to post more frequently. Remember, if you like what I'm doing, make sure you like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys on the next one.